early to mid-90s, a sort of mild media revolution began. Video cameras, which produced relatively good quality footage, became affordable. Also, editing with compatible video recorder, player and controller was practicable. By today's standards, fiddly, but practicable. At Christmas 1992, Ray got himself a Hi8 camera and corresponding video recorder. Editing in those days was analog, linear and nothing else but selective copying from the camera tape to the edit master tape. A loss of quality from generation to generation inevitable. Tapeless digital cameras, non-linear editing with a computer, and the streaming of finished movies via the internet was something only the most imaginative dreamt of in those days. I want to check on these old tapes, transfer them to a hard drive, since tape deteriorates over time. The original Hi8 tapes have been already copied to digital tape. Alas, that stuff can get moldy too. So let's preserve this material for eternity.
We should be nearly there.
Yeah, shouldn't be that far anymore from now on in.
There's Errigal.
That is Mount Errigal.
There's coming out there.
Yeah.
Look at that. What do you think of that?
Well, we have to catch our evening meals from now on in, haven't we?
Yeah, we get fed up with Roy Vita.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, let's catch a few fish, huh?
Great. Let's unpack here and we'll...
Yeah.
Of course, watching this footage from the mid-90s is a memory jogging exercise. And it's a strange feeling too, seeing oneself as a young man, no grey hair, no beer belly, and so on and so on. And definitely fit enough for a long camping weekend at Lough Maam, County Donegal, Ireland. Now, Lough Maam is a 3-hour walk from habitation, and Ray suggested this trip, or as he called it, just a wee stroll, from Glendowen around Sleevesnacht. En route we had to pass 2 other lakes, Loch Sleevesnacht and Sleevesnacht Bag. The idea was to carry as little stuff as possible. Particularly food-wise, we counted completely on our ability to catch fish. A few sausages, 2 packs of crisp bread, few tea bags, a bit of sugar and milk powder was all we took along. The wee smoker served as universal cooking utensil.
God, that smells great.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Yeah. Somewhere quite high up at a mountain, this is where we are.
But I think maybe we're lost.
Yeah.
All I do know is there's plenty of rain up here. What's down there in the clouds?
Goal for Gaelic games, hurling and stuff like that.
Oh, you think? You think in the Stone Age they used to play hurling here?
Yeah, and the other goal was over there. Positively sure.
Looks like it was put up in 1994 to me. Wee bit of cement.
Nobody has put that up recently. It's old.
Yeah. Almost as old as you. Sun's shining down there and we're in the pouring rain.
This is what you like, Ray. This is your masochistic sort of attitude. You always want heavy rain and storms and winds. This is why you come up.
Well, that's good for you.
Where is Lough Maam now?
Lough Maam must be down here. Down the hole here.
Somewhere down there, yeah.
Fantastic. Look at that lot there. Clouds.
Look at it. That's really great. Yeah. Now look how it's going to get dark again.
Well, you don't want to camp up here in the clouds, you'd rather camp down there with the midges.
I don't say anything to this. I just can't.
preparing.
Yeah.
The tent is up. It's a great tent. And what a setting. Eh? Even it was a mighty walk. Dietrich, no, you're not going in just before doing a few midges. Where are you going?
Lough Maam as a destination for this escapade came about when we heard that there's big fish to be caught. However, when finally arriving there, rain and wind had stopped altogether. Something of an evening lull developed, and our little friends the midges were out. Big time. Whilst I tried to escape them in the tent, Ray walked up to the highest elevation nearby in the hope to catch a bit of a breeze there. To pass the time, he filmed the magnificent Donegal mountain sunset.
He's sleeping still. It's bright outside and the fish are jumping. When you've made the bacon and eggs, bring them in. There's some wind.
Yeah.
Stopped. But there's some wind coming across there. Good job we've...
Oh yeah, it almost blows you off your feet.
Yeah, good job we've stuck the tent down there anyway.
Yeah. This is really how it changed overnight.
Yeah. Still hot, sunny, midgy conditions.
Yeah. To gale force
Blowing
winds.
Gale force winds. Much better conditions, of course. Massive wind.
Really some wind.
Due to the location of Lough Maam, with Sleevesnacht rising practically from its southern shore, fly fishing in strong winds is more or less impossible, since the wind circulates and blows your line astray, out of the lake actually. After a few futile angling attempts in the gale, we decided to leave the tent behind for now and find ourselves some other lake with more favorable conditions for the angler. Hopefully not too far away, since we were still attempting to catch our breakfast trout. The sausages long gone, a slice of dry crisp bread and a slug of water left us somehow on short commons.
Over that there, sort of...
It does show that it gets a wee bit stiff around the edge.
Does it?
Steep, see that there? See, there's these ones here on the first lot, but then there's those ones there. Going around the edge.
I can't see anything.
Go on.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Hey, I can't hear you. The subside.
Yeah. Erigal. Really dominating this area. Wherever you are, you have him.
Yeah, big lump of concrete.
Yes. Wherever you are, you see him.
We guessed it would be about half an hour's walk to that next lake, but didn't know how cumbersome the hike was. Big boulders everywhere and deep holes to fall into as well. The dampness and the wind in our faces didn't help either, so it took over an hour until we finally, a bit exhausted by now, reached that place where the lake, our breakfast trout lake, according to the map should be.
So this is the loch we came all this way up here to fish?
Not we came up. You brought me up 3 hours.
Oh, you thought it was going to
place.
mighty fish up here.
And look what it is left. 10 yards across and 10 yards wide and long, and that's it.
Where does the waterfall come from?
Okay, the loch wasn't there anymore. Vanished into thin air. We could just about see where it once had been, a wee stream running through the bog, and a few puddles of about 10 by 10 feet each. That's all that was left. The situation seemed bad enough, because we were very hungry at that stage of our trip. On the other hand, there was a bit of light on the horizon too. In the distance we could spot yet another lake, and this one definitely wasn't dried up by the looks of it. We had to grit our teeth and trot on. There was, however, just another drawback to this exercise. With every step we moved further away from the tent.
Well, maybe we'd better go down there and see if we can catch ourselves something to eat.
It is time for that.
Yeah.
I have really stomach problems already. It's empty. That Louis is always in the sunshine.
She's just still in the sun.
Yeah.
Here's us in the rain all day. Not really seeing much in the way of fish at all. Just those two and one others that had fell off.
Yeah. No, they're not really good taking.
This one fell off just as I swung it in.
Just one of those days. We couldn't catch a bleeding fish, despite trying our damnedest, including the bibio and all the other mountain lake campaigners. Rising a few small fish was no problem, but they just didn't stay on long enough. So, still no breakfast in sight. And nothing else is to report here until we come eventually to the far end of the lake, where the wee stream enters.
Great! Another one for the smoker. Oh, what a mighty... Oh, another mighty fish. They look good.
Yeah.
I'm ready for them, I can assure you.
Oh. I'm really hungry now.
My stomach thinks my throat's cut. Wow.
Perfect.
They look great.
Perfect. Just take them off the fire. Just put them somewhere safe, away from Mr. Robinson.
Why away from me?
You might eat them.
That's the object. Let's see you eat one. Let's see you take one out and burn your fingers and then stuff it in your face. You seem to be getting to it.
Delicious.
Fish and wine, water go well together. So after our opulent meal of smoked trout and Donegal Mountain spring well water, which is the best in the world, we felt reasonably invigorated and refreshed for the long walk back to the tent. And the moral of this story: breakfast in the afternoon has sometimes to be lunch and dinner rolled into one. The rain never stopped. Everything was wet. The camera batteries gave up, so no filming anymore. Ergo, early the next morning we decided to abandon ship and walk back to the car.
Now we are hanging here right in the middle of a bloody mountain.
Needless to say, This was our first and last escapade of this kind.